person in custody they are questioning that could possibly have some kind of relation to the Seminole Heights murders.
And all of this began with a tip that led them to McDonald's in Ybor City, and that is where we find our reporter, Bo Zimmer. Bo, you've been able to talk with employees there. What did they see happen?
Well, hey there, Courtney, I just want to hone in on what we're seeing right now. For the very first time, they have opened up this red vehicle, this car, and they have started removing things out of the trunk. This is presumably the vehicle of the person who they are talking to down at Tampa Police Headquarters. They've taken out a backpack. Now they're removing shoes, a number of items out of this backpack. You got to realize they had to wait for some search warrants and some other things before they were able to do this. So they are just now getting their first look inside this car, looking for any clues that may tie this individual to the crimes that have taken place over the last couple months in the Seminole Heights area. I'm trying to see exactly what they're pulling out. They've got their flashlights still off a little ways in the distance, but this is the latest here as the very top officers from both the Ybor City and the Seminole Heights area keep a very close eye on this situation. That is the latest. We are going to continue keeping on this story throughout the evening. Reporting live in Ybor City, Bo Zimmer, 10 News.
And so many people are asking the same question. Did they get the guy? Is this it? And it's a question that we cannot answer for you at this point. We can only tell you what Tampa police have told us.
And that is exactly what we have been telling you the whole time, that a weapon was recovered at that McDonald's. A person was taken into custody that is being questioned. That person is not under arrest. That person is not a suspect at this point. But again, all of those questions is what Tampa police, they are going through all of those questions. They're talking to the employees at that McDonald's. They're talking to the people inside that McDonald's at this point to get a lot of those questions answered.
A black hoodie right there that they are lifting up as well. So a lot of evidence out there that Bo will be watching as well, and things that potentially could connect this case to the murders in Seminole Heights and bring a lot of relief.
This is something we will...
Right now on the Seminole murders, our team of reporters uncovering crucial new clues that officers found as they arrested the man they say is responsible for murdering 4 random innocent people, Dia.
And James, their families in that neighborhood, they can rest a whole lot easier right now. We just got this mugshot, this one right here this morning, moments after police locked him up in jail just a few hours ago. Want to get right to ABC Action News reporter Lauren St. Germain. She is live right now with the new details about what police have found since you went to bed last night. Good morning, Lauren. What's the new information?
Good morning, James and Dia. A lot of new, really intriguing information. Something that really stuck out in that arrest affidavit was the suspected killer, Howell Donaldson, said that he had no affiliation with Seminole Heights, no association with that location. And this is completely different than what Tampa police had been saying for a while, because they thought that the killer was from the area and really knew the area. So interesting piece of information right there. Let's go to some video right now. This is authorities bringing Howell Donaldson from Tampa Police Headquarters to the Hillsborough County Jail where he is right now. They questioned him for hours last night, and then they decided they had enough evidence to charge him with all 4 murders that happened in Seminole Heights within the past 2 months. We also watched yesterday as officers looked through clothing. That clothing was similar to the clothing seen on the person in those 2 surveillance videos. In the affidavit, we also learned that one piece of the clothing also had a blood stain on it. We learned that he bought a 20 box of ammunition and picked up the gun that he purchased on October 7th. The homicide started on October 9th. The affidavit also says casings investigators found in the first 3 murders were fired from the same weapon. We do expect Tampa police to hold another press conference at some point this morning, giving us more information. In particular, we're pretty curious about a motive. Now, coming up at 6:30, we also learned new information about the suspected killer's cell phone. I'll tell you those new details in just about a half hour. Reporting live in Tampa, I'm Lauren St. Germain for ABC Action News.
Thanks, Lauren. We'll see you then. This morning, we're learning more about the Seminole Heights killer arrested here at the McDonald's in Ybor City.
ABC Action News reporter Ashley Yore is live out there right now. Ashley, we're learning some intimate new details about Donaldson from his former co-workers at that McDonald's.
That's right, Dia. Good morning. And, you know, co-workers out here, they're saying that Donaldson actually worked here at this McDonald's and he spooked other employees. They're saying he wasn't part of their work family. But this is exclusive video of 24-year-old Howell Donaldson. One employee says yesterday the suspect handed off a loaded gun to a manager. Then that manager flagged down a police officer who was inside the McDonald's. Now, the employee we spoke with says she saw a sketch of the killer and kept thinking it was Donaldson. She says in the past she even teased Donaldson about his resemblance to the Seminole Heights killer.
I told him that you look like a killer. And he said, do I really? I said, yeah. You know, and I was just saying that because I've been saying stuff. I don't know why. I just been digging at him, but he ain't do nothing to me. But he gave me that look like, don't mess with me.
And that employee tells us she's thankful there was an officer inside the McDonald's and that they're all okay. Coming up in the next half hour, what that employee says about the moment police showed her a photo of the suspect without any facial hair. Reporting live here in Ybor City, I'm Ashley Yor, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Ashley. And at this moment, just a wave of emotions is flooding through the families of these 4 murder victims.
Yeah, it is bittersweet for them. Melissa Mahadeo joined us now from East Seminole Heights this morning. Melissa, of course, this is the moment that those victims, families, and of course the whole neighborhood has been waiting so long for.
Yeah, Dee and James, these families have been counting the days. They've been holding their breath. They've been pacing back and forth. And finally, just now, they can finally just take a second and let this all soak in. Now, Monica Hoffa's uncle is one of those individuals. He was at the press conference last night, and we spoke with him. She was the second victim killed in these murders, killed on October 11th. For more than a month, Robert Hoffa tells us he's been praying, he's been speaking out, he's been sporting a hat with Monica's name, doing whatever he could to bring awareness to finding his niece's killer. He says these trying times have also brought about a closeness and a bond between the families and officers.
Yes, I feel like we're family now. I mean, we've been together for 51 days now, thick and thin, and I'm supporting them 100% on everything they did. I appreciate everything and all their time that they've spent away from their families.
The family creating this memorial to remember Monica, but they're doing even more than that. They say they plan to set up a scholarship fund for the deaf in Monica's name as well. We'll keep you posted on that. For right now, Melissa Mahadeo, ABC Action News.
Okay, Melissa, here's a timeline. Let's take you through the last 51 days that brought police to this arrest. We start on October 9th. 22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell was shot at a bus stop. Then just 2 days later, 32-year-old Monica Hoffa shot and killed while walking to a friend's house. The following week, October 19th, 20-year-old Anthony Naboa is killed after getting off at the wrong bus stop. And 2 weeks ago, on November 14th, 60-year-old Ronald Felton was shot and killed while walking to his church to prepare meals for the homeless. And that brings us to just hours ago when police announced the arrest of Howell Donaldson III. And there's still a lot.
This investigation, Bo, you've been out here covering this. What did you get from that press conference that we were just at a couple minutes ago?
Well, as you said, optimistic, but they still really just want to find out exactly what they're dealing with here, and they are trying to make sure that if this is in some way connected to the Seminole Heights claims, that they cross every T, dot every I to make sure that they are able to prosecute this person to the fullest extent of the law. Again, we're very, very early. One of the things I asked the police chief, what is the timeline on how long it's going to take until you know if this gun that they have now taken into custody is somehow connected with the killings? The police chief told me he doesn't like to speculate on those types of things, whether it'll be hours, days, or weeks, but certainly it's going to take some time. They may have some preliminary information for us here in the coming day or so, but certainly they're going to have to make sure that they send this off to all of the specialists to make sure that they know exactly if this gun was involved or not. The other thing, Sarah, I'll tell you is I've been walking around the parking lot. There's a lot of people showing up here. We saw this couple back over here that seemed very emotional when they showed up.
Right.
We do not know their connection, if they are friends with the person who was taken into custody or if they had some other issue, but they're very upset and they are talking and cooperating with police. And I just found a lady over here who appeared that she worked inside the McDonald's, and she was saying, you know, that she had talked to whoever this person was that came into the McDonald's and was very interested with what they had to say.
So all in all, though, we're sticking to the facts of what we know. We know that there was a gun found here at this McDonald's. Tampa Police Chief brought someone in for questioning, and that's all we know so far.
Right, exactly. And so a lot more. And this case quickly developing now after a long stall here where we haven't had many new developments other than the horrible murders that we've had.
Right.
Very few clues that have come out. We've had a few clips of video surveillance that have come out over the days and weeks, but this is our first real big break that could possibly, and as you said, the first time we've heard the police chief say he's optimistic.
Right. So we're going to, of course, stay on this and bring you the very latest developments as we continue to get them. For now, we're live here in Ybor. Sarah Rosario.
And Bo Zimmer, 10 News. Back to you.
And you know they're going to be meticulous in this investigation, making sure that they do everything right. Because, as we said, Tampa police have been very guarded in releasing a lot of information about these murders, hoping to find whoever was responsible.
And we know that you're interested in getting all of these details, and you want answers to this as well. And that just shows you the community. As you saw how many people are out there waiting for those answers when they saw all of this happen, and with social media and so many people that instantly started talking about the fact that this could somehow be connected. So many people wanting answers and wanting, to just know that it's this connected. Does this have anything to do with what's been happening in Seminole Heights?
Yeah, and Sarah reiterated it as well, but at this point we have a man who is being questioned. Tampa police have recovered a gun. They have that vehicle that they're going to be searching, and the chief said that they are, they have a lot to go through. They have evidence that they need to gather. They have search warrants that they need to get, and all of that you can see so many officers, and you can see them as well talking with some of the individuals who are out there, the community, as you mentioned, Allison, gathering out there as well. And, it really goes to show when you heard the chief say we're hopeful and optimistic, but guarded.
Yeah, there are so many things that happened today at that McDonald's, and so many questions that we have that we're going to be asking, and so many questions that we know that you have as well, that we're going to make sure that we're asking those questions and hopefully getting some answers as quickly as we can.
Yeah, and if you have questions, if you have questions for us, we are on this, not just here on air, but also on Facebook. Our reporters are all around in Southeast Seminole Heights, as well as Sarah, and Bo, who you both saw at the McDonald's there. If you have questions, post them on our 10 News WTSP Facebook page. We will stay on top of this. We'll be right back.
As you recall, on October 9th, Benjamin Mitchell was 22 years old, and he was murdered. That was 51 days ago. On October 11th, 2 days later, 32-year-old Monica Hoffa was murdered. 8 days later, on October 19th, Anthony Iboa murdered. 26 days later, on November 14th, just 2 weeks ago, 60-year-old Ronald Felton was murdered. We received over 5,000 tips in this case. I am pleased to announce that tonight we will be making an arrest in the Seminole Heights murders. Our detectives are currently working on the charging documents, and we will be charging 4 counts of first-degree murder for Howell Emanuel Donaldson III, 24 years old. Now, unfortunately, I will not have the answers that you are going to want. This is an ongoing situation. We responded out to the area about 2:30 this afternoon. We received some information about Mr. Donaldson having a firearm at the McDonald's. One of his co-workers approached a police officer. That is what led us to that. Through our investigation, several hours later, we will be charging Donaldson, like I said, with 4 counts of first-degree murder. I would like to thank the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the FBI, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, the St. Pete Police Department, Pasco County Sheriff's Office, the University of South Florida PD, and the U.S. Marshal's Office, and several other law enforcement agencies have been assisting us. But more importantly, I would like to thank the people of Seminole Heights, who have just been phenomenal in their support of our police department. It has just been their patience and their support, and the way they have rallied behind the cops of Tampa has just been phenomenal. And the entire Bay Area, the way they have supported the men and women of the Tampa Police Department in the neighborhood of Seminole Heights, has just been awesome to see.
You know, 51 days ago, I said this was a struggle between
good and evil. Well, tonight, goodness has won. Tonight, in the battle between darkness and light, light has won. It would not have happened without the amazing police work and the amazing partnership of the people that you see behind me, of the hundreds of men and women of the Tampa Police Department that have been on this case for 51 days. They put their lives on the sidelines, they put their normal jobs on the sidelines, and they focused on one thing, and that was to catch a killer. I cannot tell you how proud I am of them. Cannot tell you how proud I am of the partnership that we have with our fellow law enforcement agencies. I can't tell you, and I know I speak for the people of Seminole Heights, who stood up with us shoulder to shoulder, who never left during the tough times, who never quit on us, nor did they ever quit on the men and women of law enforcement. They had our backs and we had theirs. We could not have done this without their support and the support of this entire community. Tonight is the beginning of when justice will be served. And then the process will occur when this individual rots in hell. TPD did their job. The troopers did their job. FDLE did their job. The FBI did their job. Seminole Heights did their job. And tonight, we're bringing someone to justice who doesn't deserve the right to walk amongst us. These folks deserve the credit. Now, let's go bring justice to the families that are here today.
Any questions?
Any words about the fast food workers who initially brought this to the attention of the Tampa Police Department? Obviously, they were very concerned, spotting a gun. I don't know how much they knew about if this was actually a serial murderer or if they were just concerned about the gun. But what do you have to say about that?
What I have to say is thank you for having the courage to step forward and doing the right thing. You know, if doing the right thing were easy, then everybody would do it. And unfortunately, we don't have enough of that. The people that helped us today are what make this a great city, and I just cannot thank them enough.
Did he confess to crimes?
We're not releasing anything like that. It is still ongoing. The charging documents are still being crafted and put together, so it's going to be some time before we can release any type of information like that.
Is he answering questions though, or being cooperative?
We're still going through the whole process. I don't know for sure that he worked there still. I believe at one point he did. I don't know if he still does or did.
You had mentioned optimism, right? What gave you that optimism?
I think when I found out there was a gun, that and when we looked at his description, it gave us a little more than what we've ever really had. We've run down some guns before, run into some other things. It just felt right. I kind of had a feeling that we were going to get a break. You know, every day we would meet as a group, and we would say, what day is it? And today was day 51. And we discussed yesterday, I said, we're gonna get a break this week. I was trying to be optimistic. I have a tendency to be, my glass is half empty sometimes, and so I wanted to kind of pump everybody up, and for whatever reasons, we got a break. Somebody stepped up and did the right thing, and that's what we needed. We had said all along that no tip is too small, and somebody stepped forward and gave us what we needed. There are several pieces that we are having to put together, so it's going to be more than one thing. They actually approached an officer on foot and had a conversation. So it was that conversation. And then as far as we are still trying to figure out what this person's ties to the neighborhood is. We're not sure why he was in this neighborhood. We're not aware of what his ties are, and we don't know what his motive is. But there's a lot more to go. Unfortunately, we knew by coming out here tonight that we would probably create a lot more questions. But the real goal is to let the people of Seminole Heights be able to get a good night's sleep. It's been 51 days that they've been terrorized in their neighborhood, And it is about letting these families know that we're going to bring this person to justice and letting this neighborhood get some rest.
Though I'm missing you, although I'm missing you.